Change is coming to college football, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. There is not a damn thing that I like about what is coming to our sport. But like everything else, I have to embrace change, just like you do whenever you move towns or start a serious relationship or say goodbye to somebody and realize that the memories are all you have left. It's a part of life, people. So we just have to accept it. We can hate it, but we have to accept it. One thing that we are also going to have to accept is the term dark horse in the college football playoff is changing too. And for good reason, but some people maybe don't understand why it's changing. So I figured today, let's break down what a dark horse truly is in a 12-team playoff format. But if you are new here, welcome on into the channel, people. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. I get it. The clock has struck 20-0 on 2023. We're going to have to say goodbye. Congrats to Michigan, all of that jazz. But it's the offseason, and I'm not going away anytime soon. We're going to be recapping 2023, a look ahead at 2024, live shows planned, and a bunch of other nonsense. So if this is your daily dose of college football that you need to survive the dreaded offseason, might I recommend that you hit that subscribe button down below. Give me a dark horse that you're betting money on in 2024. Tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, best of bros, drunk dude passed out in a Publix parking lot, ACC fans, SEC fans, Big Ten aficionados, Big 12 faithful, and college football fans everywhere about this channel, because we are on the race to become the #1 YouTube show talking about our favorite sport. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to me on every social media platform at Mr. Cole Thompson, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, even if you want to. But that way, conversations surrounding our favorite sport never have to stop flowing. So the term dark horse for a while meant a team on the outside looking in of a top four. So you look at the teams that were making a run at the very end of the season. They were gaining momentum. They had an easy schedule, and most of their qualified games were already locked and loaded. So now they're actually in the hunt. They're a team that could end up surpassing everybody and make it in the Final Four. That changes a little bit now with 12 teams. And to be fair, as of this moment, we have no idea what the College Football Playoff Committee is thinking. Are they going to take the 12 most qualified teams or the 12 teams with the best record in every conference? That's going to be a different story on a later date that will truly allow us to understand what a dark horse is. But I have three criteria that take you out of the dark horse conversation. Number one, are you viewed as a legit contender for your conference? Because now you don't have to worry about winning your conference. You don't have to worry about going undefeated. You don't have to worry about those pageantry games that invoked fear in fan bases of knowing that their season truly was coming to an end with an L in the game. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So a team like Penn State, a team like Ole Miss, a team like Clemson, a team like Miami, a team like I would throw Kansas State in the mix, and maybe if you really wanted to, let's just go ahead and say Nebraska. Like those are teams that if they were to go 11-1, they're pretty secure. They've done their job. They've handled business. They've beaten up on everybody. And that one loss isn't going to define their entire season. So it's beneficial for a lot of schools. But I look at this as, are you viewed as a top 3 team in your conference? So for me personally, let's just go ahead and break down who I think they are going into this year. For the ACC, I would say it's probably any combination of Florida State, Clemson, Miami, and then you could either throw in Louisville or NC State and take out one of the other two. In the SEC, I think it's Georgia, I think it's Texas, and I think it's Ole Miss. In the Big Ten, I would probably say it's still your 3, but maybe if you wanted to throw one out, you could. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and then just throw in Oregon for good measure. And then in the Big 12, I would probably say right now, it's Arizona, it's Utah, and it's Oklahoma State. Those are the 3 front runners to win the conference in 2024. And so at that point, not really going to consider you a dark horse. You automatically don't qualify because if people view you as a team that could win your conference title, that's giving you an automatic bid. And then if you don't win your conference title, you're still going to be in the running for a shot at going to your conference championship, which likely means that you're either going to be one of the biggest at-large bids or you're going to be a team that at least flirts around with the inclination of maybe you'll be in the playoff. Number 2, which is really important, what are your betting odds going into this year? So anybody that has great betting odds going into 2024 should not be considered a dark horse. This means that people view you right now as a legit contender. Maybe your odds are at 50-1, or maybe they're at 500-1, but that doesn't mean that if you're enlisted in the top 20, you're probably not going to consider. So here are the FanDuel odds this morning. Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Alabama, Oregon, LSU, Michigan, Ole Miss, Florida State, Penn State, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Clemson, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Tennessee, USC, Kansas State, Miami, Arizona, Utah, Auburn, Louisville, Washington. Those teams to me are not dark horses automatically because of FanDuel, because of Vegas, because of everyone else out there is saying we see a pathway for them to make the playoff. You're looking at teams like NC State. You're looking at teams like maybe, I don't know, Nebraska. You want to throw Iowa into the mix. Maybe if you really want to go deep down in your heart, Cincinnati. Those are teams that are not going to be considered anywhere near the conversation of being a betting favorite. You are throwing down an egregious amount of money or very little money at no odds, basically unfathomable million odds. And you're just hoping that something sticks. That's the way that I view when it comes to a dark horse. So all those teams listed, not dark horses for me. And number 3, what have you been doing over the last several seasons? Are you building up for something special? So perfect example. This past weekend, I was at a house party and we were watching the playoff game and it was a really good time. But somebody asked me, hey, Cole, who's a bigger dark horse to make the college football playoff? Tennessee coming off of a 9-4 season or LSU coming off of a 10-3 season? And I said, neither, because both of them have been building for this moment to where we know going into next season, there's at least conversations being around this team that they should be in the playoff. There's conversations around this team that maybe they got to go travel on the road. Maybe they won't be going and hosting a playoff game, but they can win. And if they win, they're going to the round of 8. And in the round of 8, all bets are off. So I don't view either one of those teams as actual destination programs for the term dark horse. And so if you've been building on something for the last several years, that takes you out of the running too. This is a team that comes out of nowhere, shocks the entire college football world, and eventually makes their way into a 12-team postseason push. Like TCU a few years ago when they made the college football playoff. That was a dark horse team. And the reason it was a dark horse team is go look at their odds at the start of the season. Go look at the persona around this program underneath the first-year coach in Sonny Dykes. Go look at the way that they were able to add in talent via the portal, but really the last few years of the Gary Patterson era were kind of stale, kind of a little bit rocky, a little tough for you to actually comprehend. And they just go ahead and tear up on everybody. They have the most ranked wins in college football that season. They have a Heisman Trophy-worthy quarterback in Max Duggan, a Biletnikoff Award-worthy receiver in Quentin Johnston, and a defense that was able to get the job done enough to keep you in games. That was a dark horse. Nebraska falls in the conversation of a dark horse. 5-7 season, year 1 underneath Matt Rule, haven't been to a bowl game since 2016. Now we're trying to hopefully take that next step forward. They added in a veteran quarterback. Not a veteran quarterback, a young quarterback in Dylan Raiola. They have hope that this team is heading the right direction. Maybe they'll get to a bowl eligibility. Maybe they'll get to a college football playoff. That's a dark horse team. I would say probably Iowa State is a dark horse team. This is a roster that I think most people aren't going to be paying attention to because of Matt Campbell is usually getting 7-5 results. What if this year they end up having an egregious amount of offensive firepower? Their defense is fundamentally sound, like it always is, and they find a way to beat up on everybody, including teams like Arizona, Utah, Houston, and Baylor, and they just go ahead and run their way to Arlington. That's a dark horse team because nobody is expecting the Cyclones to be whirling into a college football playoff element. How about a team, I don't know, like Duke? Duke this past year lost its head coach. They lost its starting quarterback. They went 7-5 at the end of the season. And now they're bringing in Manny Diaz. Now they're bringing in Malik Murphy. Now they're losing players to the transfer portal. And this is going to be a brand new era of Blue Devil football. But what if they go on a run? What if they just handle business? What if Malik Murphy is as advertised? The QB that was pushing Quinn Ewers to the baseline in camp in Austin. What if he's that guy in the ACC and they make it all the way to Charlotte and they have, what would it be? Probably like 25,000 to 1 odds to get in, or plus 2,500 or plus 25,000. Any one of those things? Yeah, that's a dark horse. Those are the dark horse teams moving forward. So anybody out there that's saying LSU, dark horse team, Clemson, dark horse team, Tennessee, dark horse team, I'll throw in a Big 12 team, Kansas State with what they have in Avery Johnson. They're good teams. They're qualified teams. They're teams that people should be buying stock into this year. But they're not dark horses because you are expecting them to be in the hunt. You are expecting them to be in the running to win a conference title. And you are expecting them to at least get you to 9+ wins. And if you get to 9+ wins, you're in the running, in my opinion. So dark horses moving forward, drastically different. And you also got to throw in the fact that right now, at least one group of 5 schools getting in, And we have no idea how the committee is going to view records or conference schedule, strength of record. All those things have to be determined in the next several months, and we're only going to figure it out once the games are played on the field. But make no mistake, the term dark horse isn't going away anytime soon. Just the persona around it is. Tennessee, not a dark horse. LSU, not a dark horse. Wisconsin, not a dark horse. Duke, Iowa State, Cincinnati, Oregon State, dark horses. Just kind of a baseline moving forward of how to describe that term. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.